friends. How are you all doing? I'm doing very well. It is December the 8th of 2020. This video is about a review of this documentary right here. This is Until the Light Takes Us. Alright, so for those of you who aren't familiar with this documentary is about the Norwegian black metal scene, and it was released in 2008. Okay, so this film is about the Norwegian black metal scene, and more specifically the early Norwegian black metal scene that took place in the early to mid 1990s. There was a lot of discussion about the band Mayhem, and there's a lot of discussion about the tragic details that took place surrounding Mayhem. Some of these details include the murder of their original guitarist. Their original guitarist, his name was Euronymous. He was murdered by rival bandmate Varg Vikernes. Varg murdered him in August of 1993. There's also discussion of the suicide of their original vocalist. Their original vocalist, his name was Dead. He committed suicide sometime in 1991. And there's just a lot of interesting perspectives on the early days of Mayhem and how they all lived. Yeah, it's all very interesting. There's also a lot of discussion of Varg Vikernes. Varg is, of course, the sole member of the band Burzum. There's a lot of discussion about a lot of the criminal activities that he undertook, which include the murder of Euronymous as well as several church burnings. Okay, there's also discussion of Faust. Faust was one of the original members of the band Emperor. He had murdered an individual sometime in 1992. Alright, and there's just a lot of discussion about the early Norwegian black metal scene, which includes Helvete Record Shop. Helvete Record Shop was a record shop that was run by Euronymous as well as other members of the Norwegian black metal scene. Okay, and there's also lots of news footage, lots of live footage of church burnings and live footage of court trials. Alright, there's also lots and lots of interviews in this film. There's lots of interviews with Fenriz. Fenriz is best known as being one of the members of Darkthrone. There's lots of interviews with him in a variety of different locations, and he provides lots of interesting perspectives on the Norwegian black metal scene. Yeah, he's very interesting. There's also lots of interviews with Varg Vikernes. During the making of this documentary, Varg was still in prison at the time. This would have been close to the end of his prison sentence. Varg provides lots of interesting details on the Norwegian black metal scene, and as well as Norway in general. It's interesting to hear what he has to say. He's very interesting, that's for sure. Alright, it's interesting to see him in prison as well. And it's interesting to see the whole prison environment. Okay, and there's lots of other interviews also, which include members of Ulver, Immortal, Mayhem, and Satyricon. There's also an interesting part of this film where there's an art exhibit. This art exhibit had featured lots of black metal artifacts. Very interesting. And there's also a live art performance of Frost. Frost is best known as being one of the members of Satyricon in 1349. He provides this very interesting live art performance, very intense. I definitely enjoyed watching that. Alright, so that's basically my review of Until the Light Takes Us. Okay, so that is my review of Until the Light Takes Us. Yeah, so this is just a very, very interesting movie. I enjoyed it so much. I've watched it numerous times. It's a very high quality film. I highly recommend it. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out, okay? Alright, so I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I want to say thank you to all the people who watch my videos and subscribe to my channel. I really truly appreciate it, okay? Take care, my friends. Cheers.